Hey plant nerds, if you're thinking it's too late to get food in the ground, it is not. Now, you're not going to be able to grow as much as you could if it was, say, earlier in the season, and it may not be as good as if you'd planted it sooner, but there's still food you can get in the ground so that you can have a harvest in the fall. Yeah, August isn't too late, not if you're in zone 5B. If you're in a zone that's warmer, then you have even more time to grow food. So let's take a look at some of the things you can still grow. Be a short one today. If you're new around here, then hi, I'm Kiri. I am a micro homesteader in zone 5B. I live in Pickering, Ontario. And this is my crazy garden. Well, some of it anyways. There's more over there. And on this channel, we talk about all things micro homesteading, from growing outdoors in said garden, as well as growing indoors hydroponically, and other ways that you can become more self-sufficient and reduce your reliance on the grocery store, because that's a good thing. That is your thing. If you'd like that to be your thing, then go ahead and hit subscribe and the notification bell and all that stuff so you don't miss out on any future videos. But we need to talk about things that we can plant now, because there is still time. Do not give up hope. Now, if it's your very last seed of your very most prized possession, then maybe hold on to it till next season. But if you have enough seeds, then give it a shot. Go, try. You'll get something. May not be as big, may not be as fantastic as it might have been, but it's still gonna be food. It seems like it could rain any minute, so I'm hoping I can get this all filmed before I get drenched. Just gonna jump into the list of what you can plant in August. Before we get started, you need to figure out how many usable frost-free days you have left. So you're just going to need to figure out what your first frost date is, which is super easy. You're just going to go onto Google and just type in what is the first frost date for, and then wherever you live. That will give you a date. Then what you need to do is you need to ask Siri or type it in, or go old school and grab a calendar and figure out how many days there are from today until that day. Once you have that, then you will know how many frost-free days you have left, but we're not done yet. Because we are after the summer solstice, we have to figure out how many usable frost-free days we have. Because even though there's that many days, the sun is less powerful now after the summer solstice. So you need to add about 10 to 14 days onto the maturity date of any varieties. Once you have your frost-free days, then you're going to subtract 10 to 14 days from that, and that will give you your usable frost-free days. Once you have that, and that is your most important number. So after all that mathing is done, then you can grab your seed packages and compare any of the varieties that you want to grow and see how many days it takes to maturity and see if you have enough time. At this point, we're really only going to want to be planting frost-hardy varieties for the most part, because we are running out of some time. And those ones will be able to withstand a light frost. Some of them will be able to withstand more of a hard frost. So that'll give us a little bit more wiggle room to do this. So one of the things I've done is create a fall planting guide, and I'll put the link down in the description. It's free, so you guys can use it if it's helpful. It just goes through helping you figure out your first frost date, and some explanations that I've talked about on the cold sensitive and the frost hardy plants. It's got some information for all the different plants that I suggested. There's a garden layout, the tracker, some information to summarize it. There's a section where you can put in any other plants that you have. So anyways, I'll put the link in the description if you think this would be helpful. So one of the first things is carrots. I have loads of them. I didn't even plant any carrots yet. There wasn't really space allotted in my garden in the spring, so I'm gonna do it now. The one thing that's important to remember planting these now, especially because it's so hot, is you have to make sure that they're not going to dry out. So a great way to do that is to take a piece of wood after you've planted them and place it on top. Make sure that it's not pressure treated. And that will just help keep the dark, to help them germinate, because carrots can be a little finicky with germination, and it's also gonna help keep some of the moisture in. Next thing you can do is beans, bush beans specifically. I still have a bunch of them going strong in my garden. Those are some of the red swan bush beans. They are a favorite of mine. But there's still time to get a few more of these in the ground. Bush beans are going to give you all of their fruit at pretty much the same time, so they're great if you're going to do some canning to put them up, or you could blanch them and freeze them. You can also do some beets. I'm going to be doing a second round of these myself because my father loves them, and so I will pickle them and give them to him for Christmas. I don't eat them. I'm trying to learn to love beets, but I'm not there yet. Another one is Bok Choy. I actually have some adorable teeny tiny, the Hedu tiny Bok Choy. I'll show you guys. These guys are so tiny. I love them just to throw into stir fries. You can just throw the whole thing in. So while these ones aren't frost hardy, they grow quick enough that you should be able to get a harvest before the frost hits. Maybe too late for these next ones now, but I just want to bring it up so you'll know for next year. It's not too late to put out any of the brassicas, but they needed to have been started in like May, June, so you're putting out seedlings. But if you do have seedlings, then you can definitely put out broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, or anything like that, and they will be okay. They are frost hardy, and they actually taste better and sweeter if they've been exposed to a bit of frost. Peas like it cool, so I'm going to try putting some in now, and then hopefully when they're starting to develop, it'll be a little bit cooler and they will enjoy it. So I am going to throw some peas in. Some of these sugar snaps are my favorite. I also had some of the magnolia tendril peas that were so cool, so I'm going to be putting some of those in too. And onto the hardiest of hardy vegetables, kale. This one I have harvested well into the winter, just brushing off the snow and grabbing some. So definitely throw some kale in the garden. It will last quite a long time through the winter. Okay, so I had to come back inside. It was getting really noisy out there. There's just two more things I wanted to mention, and this is in preparation for the What to Grow in September video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be starting some lettuce inside under grow lights. And I'm also going to be starting some spinach under the grow lights, just so I can pop them out and they'll be ready to go once it gets a little bit cooler, because otherwise they're going to be prone to bolting. So I don't want to get them out. So while they grow quick enough that we have time to put them in, it's still not quite the right temperature for them to prevent bolting. That was it, just short and sweet today. Just wanted to reinforce that there is still time to get food in the ground. Don't forget to go grab my free fall planting guide. It is listed down in the description. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, I would really appreciate it as a fellow plant nerd if you would go ahead and give it a thumbs up, because YouTube loves that and then it helps me reach more people. Let me know down in the comments what you're planting in August in your garden. And until next time, as always, don't forget to go out there and enjoy the little things and make food grow. Bye, plant nerds.